Hello, all. RT Bear here. Welcome to Hack Shack Studios. I am going to be drawing for you guys for the next hour or so. That is the plan. That is the big plan I have in store for you guys. So, a lot of work to be done. So, I also want to let you know that all the pages of Chrono Mechanics have been they're done. They're actually done. I was just kind of evaluating what's left. There's a little touch-ups on a couple of the pages, maybe 3 or 4, and I think I have one figure that I have to work out the details, but all 60 pages for the most part are done. So I am very, very glad about that. So yeah, so anybody who backed Chrono Mechanics, just know that as far as the pencils and inks are concerned, I should be done with that. I won't have time tonight, but over the weekend, I should be able to finish all those little touch-ups. And there's one figure that's giving me a little bit of hard time, and I've been putting it on the back burner. So I'm going to come back to that this weekend and finish it up. So as of this weekend, it will be completely done. So I am very, very excited about that. Very, very happy. I have a little shot that I'm going to show you guys later of one of the pages I was really happy with. And I thought it captured the moment very, very good. And it's a little bit of a spoiler, but it's okay. It's okay. There's a lot to this story. So even, though you've seen quite a bit, I don't think you've seen anything yet. There's still quite a bit to this story. It's 60 pages, man. We took this book from a 48-page to a 60-page extravaganza. So I just wanted to take a moment and thank you guys for that as well. So we have El Gargoyle. How are you, brother? How are you? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the show. We have the Squish Show. Is that Squish? Squish. Excellent. Excellent. So let me screen share. Actually, it's not screen share. It's I got to stop saying that because I always want to click the screen share, but it's just it's just the camera button. It's just the camera button. Hey, Art. Grrr. I don't know what that means. The Comics Bear. The Comics Bear. The Comics Bear. Let me know if you're the guy that I get all these names confused. So I am very, very sorry. Were we working on a video for Chrono? If so, let me know in the chat, because if you're still open, I would like to put like a promo for Chrono, like a last like call to arms video together, because it's going to be going to the printer soon. And then I have to figure out whether I'm going to keep the shop open or not. So the Comics Bear says, yes, he is. So I'll DM you later and see if you would be willing to put a video together for Chrono. I have some new stretch goals in mind. So that's I just wanted to get the book done before I got too crazy with putting more on my plate. So this weekend is also going to be kind of phase 3, I guess, of the Chrono Mechanics big push, the in-demand push. So there's going to be some new stretch goals, a lot of fun planned for you guys, and also I'm going to figure out my marketing and advertising campaign. These things are quite endeavors, and it's a lot of fun. But I always feel like there's just not enough time in the day to do everything. So so that's that. And so what I'm going to do is I think we my wife and I worked in the wrong amount of numbers when we were doing the black and white head sketches. So I'm going to go back a little bit and finish up the head sketches, the black and white head sketches. So I thought it would be fun just to hang out with you guys and do a little bit of work. And also there's been some orders, I put it out there that you guys could just have the head sketches if you wanted, just to purchase them. So I'm going to finish up those orders as well. So if you guys did order one of the black and white head sketches, I'm going to be doing that today and finishing those up for you guys. So anybody who's backed the black and white tier with the head sketches, the reason I say head sketches is because there's black and white on the sketch. So I shouldn't say head sketches, but the head sketch with both of them on there. I will be working on those today and finishing those up, and they will go out ASAP. And then anybody who's just ordered the sketch, those will go out as well. So my wife has been chomping. She's like, "Give me those sketches. I need to get the last of the orders out." So once those head sketches go out for the black and white campaign, that is it, you guys. The black and white campaign is totally fulfilled. And I think there's only like 7 orders left, and they're all waiting for the head sketches. So without further ado, I'm going to get on this. So I see some other names in the chat. We have Albino Thunderbuns. We have Ben L. Good morning, sir. Hope you're doing well. I am doing well. Anytime I get to draw and hang out with you guys is always a good day. So how do I do this? I click this button right here. This is the right button. So what I usually do with these is I block them out with a marker, like all the hardline stuff. And then I come in and finish it off with a brush. So let's see. I got to kind of get my muscle memory back. And it's weird. Once you get on a roll with these things, it becomes kind of second nature. But to get to that point, it always takes a little bit of time. And I'm going to apologize up front, you guys. The weather, we're going to get some rain here in SoCal. Hopefully, we always need rain. And so there's a lot of clouds, and the sun is moving back and forth in the room. So it might get darker, and it might get lighter at times. So I just want to give you guys a heads up with that. So I should actually move this up a little bit. I always work really close to my my face, so I'm used to having the drawing like right under my nose. So with the camera, I got to kind of move it out a little bit further so you guys can see it. So yeah, and I wanted to kind of make it a little bit of a Q&A. So if you guys want to ask me questions or anything, feel free. We can do that. And I'll come back and answer some when I take a break. It's always something to look forward to. And make no mistake, you guys, I'm only here because of you. So I appreciate all of you, and I appreciate all your support. It's pretty interesting for me because I've always kind of was able to be a behind the scenes guy with Marvel and DC. So they usually interacted with the clientele and the people. I didn't really. So it's a lot of fun right now to be able to do that with you guys. And I can't believe I've gone this long without really interacting on this level. But with Comicsgate and this new kind of indie movement that's going on right now, that I'm very thankful for, by the way, it allows me to interact in a way that I never could before. So that's a good thing. Yeah, I think I might have to. I think I use another pin. I think I use two different pins, and then I use the brush. So I'm trying to remember how I did this in the past. Yeah, so if you guys ordered one of the black and white head sketches, this will be one of yours. And I can honestly say by probably early next week that all the black and white orders will be out. And it was quite a undertaking. Yeah, my wife Pamela, she's also my co-partner or my partner in all this, and she's just been kicking some major butt getting all these orders out to you guys. Yeah, I think I do, like, this is like the medium line weight, and then I come in with a thinner pin for the eyes and details, and then a brush. I believe that's how I was doing these. So I think these things are coming out really cool. I like them. And the ones that I have sent out, people seem to be very happy with them. So I'm glad. Yeah, I'm so happy. I'm happy when you're happy. Man, when that sun goes away, it gets dark in here. So yeah, I'm going to block out most of these with this marker, and then I'll come back and show you guys how I bring the rest together. Yeah, these are a lot more detailed than most people's head sketches. These are pretty much like full-on renderings, so they're a little bit more than just your average head sketch. So, man, I'm looking forward to the weekend. I'm probably going to end up working, but the plans are right now that I'm going to try to take some time off and recharge my batteries. Yeah, I think that's as much as I do with this pin. Let me see. I got to figure this out. I got this, but I think this is too fine of a line. I got another one. Maybe it's this one here. Yeah, this one looks better. Yeah, I think this is the one that I do the fine detail with. Yup. It's the one. So, yeah, it's coming together. And I love these characters, and I am looking forward to getting all the Chrono stuff done. so I can start on volume 2 like full time. I've been kind of playing around with some stuff here and there, but nothing that like I haven't been able to spend the amount of time that I really would like to. So I'm really looking forward to having a good chunk of time, where it's my main focus, and get that stuff up and running again. So my next campaign, which I'm going to be shooting the video for soon, is going to be the black and white Vampirilla cover. And I think I even drew some of it on one of the live streams, but we'll be launching the campaign in a few weeks. So yeah, so that's coming together as well. And that's going to be a blast. I teased Kyle's color the other day on a live stream. So Kyle Higgins, listen to me. Kyle Higgins is the writer of Deathstroke. Man, that's a major call from the past. No, Kyle Ritter, and he banged it out of the park. And he did the color for the cover. And so we're going to be launching that. I'm doing that in conjunction with Dynamite. But I'll be running the campaign. But I'm using their character, the Vampirilla character. I thought the cover came out really good. I'm real happy with it. Yeah, so I hope you guys will like it too and back it once we get it up and launch it. So then there's that, and then it might overlap a little bit. Then I'm going to do the black and white second chance, and I may be offering these again with the second chance. So if you guys don't have the funds right now, then maybe by the time we launch, you guys will have the funds to get yourself a head sketch. And I'm working on a drawing for a print, so there might be an exclusive print. And I say might, I just have to figure out how much time. It always comes down to time. Okay, I'm a one-man operation here. I mean, my wife helps out quite a bit, but just as far as the artistic aspects, the writing and drawing and all that stuff. So yeah, some interesting fun times ahead. Yeah, I'm chomping at the bits, man. I want to show you guys that Kyle cover so bad, the colors, but I'm a little teasing it right now, but I want to wait. I want to have impact, so I probably won't show it in its entirety until we launch. I say that now, but we'll see. I might have a moment of weakness and just break down and show you guys. and just go, here it is in all its glory. So let me think, is this, it's almost where I need it to be for the brush. So you guys can see the amount of work that goes into these. Okay. So other than the most important part of the drawing, as I always say, is the signature. So for all the new artists out there that are looking for pro tips, my pro tip, it's all in the signature. Get yourself a cool ass signature and you'll go far. You know, all the learning how to draw and ink and layout and storytell. People say those things are important. I say BS. It's all about the signature. Yeah, art schools don't tell you those things, guys. Yeah, you don't get to hear those in art schools. They're like, yeah, open the book, you know, practice. No. The only thing you need to practice is the signature. Get a cool signature, and the world is your oyster. So there's what I've put together. So now all I have to do is this 6 more times. So that's kind of the first 2 steps. And then the last step is a brush. So I'll bring the brush in as well and show you guys, you know, how it all comes together. So let me see where you're at in the chat. That rhymed. Where you're at in the chat. Ooh, Nighthawk Warrior. I see you all over the place. He's taking over my stream again. How dare you, Nighthawk? He is everywhere you want to be. Okay, I think we left on Ben L. Good morning. Victor Thomas says, hey yourself. Passion for drawing. Hey, art looks great. I think I saw one of your drawings on Twitter. Did you post something recently? It kicked ass. I don't know, you guys. I have a hard time keeping track of things. And as far as Twitter and social media, it's for me, it's just kind of like I just peruse it real quick and then try to get in, you know, in the work after that. So I don't really pay that much attention. So, but I think it was one of your drawings. It was really good and I liked it. And I might have even commented. So keep up the good work. Keep up the passion. We have Muttman. Dude, is that a Sharpie? It is a Sharpie. Thought Sharpies were bad because they aren't archival. I don't know. I have a lot of Sharpie drawings that still look cool. So I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Are you going to be at WonderCon? I have plans at this point, but I usually wait till the last possible minute and then I call in all the favorites I can with the con to get me in last minute. So it will probably go down to the wire again. But last year was crazy. A bunch of Comicsgate guys came out, supported me, and had a great time. And yeah, did well too. Sold a bunch, did a lot of drawings, sold a lot of prints and original artwork. So I think that was last year was a record-breaking WonderCon for me as far as dollars. And quite frankly, that's all that matters. Nah, I'm just kidding. Hanging out with you guys is the best. Okay, so we got Moo Butt, or Mo Butt, Mo Butt, Mo Butt, Mo Butt. Hey T/Bear, that's me. That's me. Albino, I think, is answering. Yeah, I think Albino is going to be there as well, along with Sierra Whiskey, Pixel Trader, I believe, and they were the high point last year too because I got to hang out with those two guys. I think it was the first time I met them, which was pretty cool. So Igor Bondar says, "Hello, Art. What are your thoughts on DiDio?" What? When did this happen? This must have just happened. Yeah, tonight on Pontificators, we're going to talk about the G5 or whatever DC's calling their stuff. So I'll have to look into this afterwards, and we can talk about that tonight as well. I did not know about that. That's a sad time. I like Dan DiDio a lot. I really, really do. I think it's weird because he was working in conjunction with Jim Lee. So I wonder what or where that leaves Jim. Wow. A lot of speculation, man. This is some crazy times for comics. The best place to be is where I'm at right now, independent, doing these comic books yourself. So I think Squishy is going to be at WonderCon, so that'll be cool. I'll get to meet you there. We have Kevin. Hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. They come to snuff the rooster. Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, it's like the clouds. There's a lot of clouds, and they're moving back and forth. So I'm going to get some varying lighting today. Cool. I left a like and shared. Well, thank you guys. And if you could do what Nighthawk says, follow his leadership and like and share, please. It does help the algorithms. And YouTube, as always, has been doing some funky crap. So make sure you're still subbed if that is what you want. Hi, T-Bear. I'm High T. I get it. I got you. Hi, how's everybody? Hi, the Comics Bear. Hey, what is NHW by NH? Oh, Nighthawk Warrior. Bup. Howdy all. We have Belendor. I don't know how to say that. Yo, Mr. Bear, did you hear DiDio was just removed from DC? I knew heads were gonna roll. I was hoping it wasn't gonna be his. DiDio was fired. They haven't even got their whole thing going yet. And how do you fire Dan without firing Jim Lee? I thought they were like editors in chief or whatever, however that goes. I thought they had the same title. I'm gonna have to look into this. Yes, news broke out like 15 minutes ago. We are free. I don't know. There's a lot of people that don't like Dan DiDio, but I'll tell you, when I was losing faith in this industry after Marvel fired me, I took my hiatus. But even while I was on hiatus, Dan DiDio reached out to me, and he was trying to get me back in the trenches and work for DC. And I was so burnt out on comics. I just spent 2 years just developing IPs and kind of doing the Hollywood shuffle. So when it was time for me to come back after I licked my wounds, DiDio not only brought me in, but he beat my Marvel rate up to that point, which was the industry high. and he beat it and brought me back into the folds of doing comic books again. And I've always appreciated that. I always yeah. So it's hard for me to ever say anything bad about the man. Wow, that's sad news. Hopefully, leadership won't be stupid, and they'll give the reins to Jeff and tell Jim to back. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jim is. We'll talk about this on Pontificators. We'll go into this in detail. Trust me. But I love Jim Lee. He's given me and helped me a lot in my career as well, and I think I helped him in the early days as well. But I don't think he's a good fit for DC leadership wise. I think DC became a series of reboots. Let's reboot the whole franchise, And if you think about Jim's tenure with Wildstorm, that's what they kept doing. They couldn't really get the sales and the attention on the monthly books, so they kept kind of relaunching series, like canceling a series and then rebooting it. I have personally, and this is no slight, this is just a personal thing, I have a lot more respect for somebody like Todd McFarlane that kept the numbering system going and created a legacy. Like Spawn has a legacy now. He never rebooted. He would just come out with a new series, but he always kept that one series going. And I just think that people get tired of that, canceling a book and then rebooting the book, canceling the book and rebooting. It's like a lather, rinse, repeat kind of format. And I believe that the consumer gets tired of that because there's no stability. Nothing's real, nothing's tangible, nothing has any kind of importance because you're just going to keep rebooting things. And that I think is a problem. Yeah, I kind of miss long runs on books with a talent, with a group of people, because I think you can evolve things and you can organically create storylines that way and let the creative people have more say and stop micromanaging them from on high as much. So that's my 2 cents on that. Like I said, we will go into great detail tonight. We were going to cover the G5 stuff anyway, but now that the DiDio thing has been added to the equation, for sure, and that's 6 o'clock Pacific Standard. So that's is that 9 o'clock Eastern time? So, wow, that bummed me out. I'm bummed out now. Like I said, a lot of people, they throw Dan under the bus. I just can't really say anything bad about him. I'm kind of sad to see this happen because, like I said, there were 2 people that held that position. Not that I want Jim to step down or be fired either, but there was 2 people that held that position. So that means that 2 people were making all those decisions. It wasn't just Dan. Dan was kind of the public face. So by being the public face, he became the target. And I always thought he was pretty brave for always putting himself into that position. And he always seemed to try. He always had a smile on his face. He always had a lot of enthusiasm for the books. I also have nothing against Michael Bendis. At a time when Marvel was giving me a hard time, Bendis actually stepped up and stood up, believe it or not, to David Bogart. This was before I got fired. So, when I say these things, none of it's personal, but I just think that his form of comic books, his idea of entertainment, I don't think I think it's kind of agenda driven, and I don't respond to it. Hold on. I just ate a Triscuit cracker, and it messed up my throat. Yeah, so when I heard that, well, one, I actually was affected by his move to DC, where I was working on Super Sons with Peter Tomasi and Carlo Barberi, and that book was selling well. And I'll tell you right now, that book was much loved. I actually got like fan mail. People would tell me how they liked the book and how they really like the older people were like, this is a book I can share with my kids. I can read it with my kid and stuff like that. And so there was, not that it was a kid's book, because it wasn't, but it was just kind of like old, like good, straightforward comic book storytelling. And when Bendis came in, they canceled that book because Bendis wanted control of all the Superman books. So I lost my job, and everybody else did, because Bendis decided that that's what he wanted to do. And it was a really good selling book without Bendis, and then Bendis came in, and one of the first things I remember hearing was that he was going to make Clark Kent, like the Kent's Jewish. And then in his mind, it made complete sense because the creators of Superman were Jewish. What does that even mean? This is crazy talk. Like, the creator was Jewish, so they had to make Superman Jewish. Like, they made Superman the character that he is. Like, the Kents were, who they were. They weren't, I don't think they even got into their religious or belief system, other than, just like truth, justice, and the American way, just kind of good values, Midwestern values. So I thought that was weird. Like, and that's your reasoning? Your reasoning is because the creators were Jewish? Listen, they created the character they created because they wanted to. If they wanted to make them Jewish, they could have done that, but they didn't, and then what is Bendis trying to write some kind of like imaginary wrong? Like, oh, they would have, if the times had allowed them to. Like, if they could have, made the Kents Jewish, they would have. Well, you don't know. You don't know anything about those guys. They're long gone. I think it's kind of weird that you're thinking for somebody else and you're projecting something like that onto. Is this my really small marker? I think it is. Versus, what they actually created. I think if you really wanted to do Siegel and Schuster a service, you honor their creation. You don't change it. Like, how is making them Jewish, honoring, you're changing something fundamentally. and you're bringing like your own thought process or your own belief system into things. So I think that Bendis at DC, or when you give Bendis that much power, I don't think it's a good thing either. Like I said, I have nothing against Michael Bendis. He did a great job on the Ultimate Spider-Man when I was working on it. I think he has some pretty good ideas. Throughout his career, he had some pretty good ideas. He could execute them pretty well. And he was a pretty decent guy. But I don't think he's the guy that you should be listening to. Just to be honest, like I said, it's nothing personal. It's just how I feel. Because I don't think that he was all that towards the end there at Marvel. I think most of, like at least half of his Marvel tenure was pretty suspect. I don't think he was writing inspired stuff. I think he was creating like agenda stuff, like telling us how we should feel and what is wrong with the world, but not in a universal way, in more of a like political way, like your belief system. And I don't care for that stuff. You know, if you want to preach or you have those beliefs, you know, and you want to do those things, then by all means do them, but don't do them with Marvel characters and don't do them with DC characters. I think these companies, Marvel and DC, have to learn this. No one wants to see that shit, to be honest. They just want to see Superman do cool Superman stuff. They just want to see Spider-Man do cool Spider-Man stuff. They don't care about Spider-Man's belief system or Superman's belief system, you know, other than that they're good guys and that they want to help people, you know. All that other stuff is just window dressing. It's heavy-handed. It's preachy. I remember listening to Lin Wein. He was talking in some interview, and he was talking about like late 60s comics and 70s comics where they got kind of political and they got heavy-handed with their belief system. And he was just saying that he actually looked back and he was like, they weren't very successful comic books. They weren't successful because they were preachy and they were heavy-handed, and people don't really like that, you know. And you know, I'm not saying that your comic books can't at times be those things, but the stuff that's happening now is completely different. You know, there's a culture war, there's a belief war that's going on right now, and you know, there's a faction that if you disagree with them, they just want to destroy you and call you names. And I think that's a big difference. That's why I talk the way I do. I mean, usually I keep things to myself, but I think the way things are now, when they try to hurt people or try to get them fired and you know, all this kind of backlash, I guess they call it SJW. It's just like really far left kind of progressivism going on. And I think it's bad. It's bad for entertainment. And I just I just want good, clean fun. I just want good, clean action adventure. Comic books. It would be nice if we could start making like more mainstream comics for a younger audience. I also believe personally it's the only way that we're going to grow an audience. I don't think these comic books are made for them anymore. And this, I don't want to get too much into that G5 stuff, but that just seems like a move in the wrong direction. Everybody's looking for a quick fix for the answer to a problem. The thing is, I used to say this. I remember having a conversation with Dan Jurgens, and I said, because I think we were working on a book and it got canceled, and then he's just like, oh well, it's the sales were down, so they canceled the book, and I'm like, the sales are down, so we lose our job. Like, we're killing it every month trying to make the best comic possible, and the product was good. It wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't any of those things. And then I was like, how convenient is it that the industry just so readily throws the talent under the bus? Like, oh, the reason the book didn't sell is because of Dan Jurgens and R.T. Bear. That's it? That's as far as it goes? No. Did you advertise the book? Marvel, did you promote the book? Are you growing an audience? Are you expanding your fan base? Well, the answer is no. Then how is it my fault? How is it Dan Jurgens' fault? How is it anybody that's working on this book? How is it their fault? You didn't promote the book. like you could have the best product in the world, and if no one knows it exists, it's not going to last very long. You have to advertise it. You have to get on your YouTube channel and start talking about chrono mechanics and how you guys all need to check it out. You need to do stuff like that. You need to grow your audience. You need to get the comic books into more places. You need to make better business decisions. But I think that, a lot of people that work in have these mainstream jobs, as far as promoting and sales, they put an ad together, put it in the Diamond catalog, and expect everything to be done. Like, well, we did our job. We promoted. Well, all you're doing is selling to the retailer. That's all you're doing. You put this ad in a book, and then you got it in front of the retailers, and then your job is done. Well, we're reaping the rewards of that right now because you didn't expand the market. You're just selling to, the converted. You're just selling basically to the retailer. You're not even selling to the fan. You're not even selling to the customer. I remember having a conversation with Gareb Shamus at Wizard Comics, and I was talking to him about promoting Black and White in the day, and we were talking about his ad rates in Wizard magazine, which were crazy expensive. And then he comes to me and he says, oh, well, we have a distribution of whatever, or we sell X amount. He didn't say distribution. He said, we sell this amount every month. And then I said, okay, that's how many you sell, right? And he's like, yeah. And I say, but you're selling them to the retailer, right? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, but not every customer is buying one of those books. Um, in the day, a lot of people would buy multiple issues of Wizard because it was kind of a collectible as well. So they would buy two books, two Wizard books. And so when he talks about distribution, or when he talks about selling, he's trying to make it seem like that's how many individuals. Hold on, I'm trying to get my other drawings here. He's talking about individuals that have one of these books, and the thing is, it's not, those numbers aren't accurate, because if you're selling to the retailer, then you're saying, okay, we sold this amount to the retailer. Fine, you did that. That's a fact. I'm not going to dispute that. But you don't give us the details. You don't tell us that. You just make it seem like you sell that many books a month. But how many does the retailer actually sell? How many of them sit on his shelf? How many people buy multiple Wizard comics? I think all those need to be subtracted from that bigger number. And so I said, when you throw those numbers around, you need to be more honest with them, because you're basing your ad numbers, what you're going to charge for an ad, based on false sales numbers. Well, let me just back up. They're not false numbers, but they're not exactly, you should clarify and say that's how many you sell to the retailer, not how many actually get into people's hands. Because for somebody like me, if I was running an ad, that's what I want. I want the ad to get into people's hands. I want this book to get into people's hands so they can see my ad. I don't want to pay for an ad and then have my book either collect dust on some retailer's shelf, or just always stay in the poly bag and never see the light of day, which is also, why run an ad in a book that somebody is just going to collect and not look at? So, I mentioned that to him about the ads and the cost, and we worked a deal out, based on, me bringing that to his attention. But, this is kind of part of the problem, where Marvel and DC are not expanding the market. They're selling to the same people. They're selling to the retailer. They're not answering to the consumer. Like right now, I'm answering to you guys, and only you guys. So I don't answer to Diamond. There's no middleman. There's no anybody else. It's just you and me, and that's it. And that's why this is like a consumer revolt. This is good times, because I believe that you guys, and with the help of people like myself, we're going to let people know that we need to start, answering to people. We need to start connecting with the fan base. Even something like what was it Sonic? The new Sonic movie, the director was like, we're going to go back. We're listening to the fans. They thought that, the original Sonic designs were pretty bad, which they were. We're going to go and we're going to redesign at an amazing cost to us, amazing expense to us, but we're going to go and we're going to redraw all of these frames. And they did. And guess what? Success. So they answered to the fan base. They respected them when they spoke. and they made product that was for them. And it seems so obvious to me, and it seems so basic, but I it's hard for me to believe that there are people that don't understand these things, and they're just so far removed from them. I think comics needs to they need to get outside of themselves, and they need to try to expand, take chances. I mean, I took a major chance. I take a major chance every day, being here, talking with you guys, making these comic books. This is way outside of anybody's comfort zone. There's the sure thing, which is the DC Marvel. But having said that, is it really a sure thing anymore? I don't know. A lot of people are predicting doom and gloom. I don't know if it's that bad or not, but so I'm not going to jump onto that bandwagon, because I've heard that kind of talk before. When I broke into the business in the early 80s, the industry was just about dead. And then it started picking back up. And then it eventually got into, multi-millions of sales. So I think this industry will surprise people, and that we can double down, and we can rally, but it's going to take a lot for Marvel and DC to do that. They're a corporate entity. They don't move quickly. DC has never moved quickly. Marvel was always able to move a little bit quicker because it wasn't as big of a corporate structure as DC was, but they've kind of kicked back for a long, long time and kept business as usual. And now the check is due. Payment is due. And they're realizing that they were very short-sighted. I do believe there are outside things as well. I mean, the printed medium across the board is having a harder time. So it's not just DC and Marvel, but they're sure as heck not doing anything to help. I do believe that with enough enthusiasm and energy and excitement, you can get people to buy comic books. I think it's a great medium. I think it's very, very fun. There's a lot of aspects to it. There's the 20 minutes of fun that you get when you read the book, but there's also like this collectible aspect to it. There's the trading, there's the interaction with other collectors and fans and stuff like that. I guess the social aspects of it. There's conventions. There's a lot of cool aspects to it. But I think that the reason Image happened is because there was a group of people that weren't happy with the status quo and weren't satisfied with the books selling what they were selling, and decided to try to do something different. And then they kind of hit at a time where there was a speculation boom, trading cards, whatever it was. And so it became the perfect storm. And people say, could it ever happen again? And I say, yeah, of course it can. To the same extent, I don't know. Would it be exactly the same? I don't think so. But the spirit of it, the energy of it, the spirit is there. It is here. Yeah. A good Stan Lee character right now would be pretty cool. And then if you think about even what Stan Lee did, right, you go, well, that was one guy. Look at how much of a difference he made. And then look at, like, what if the comics industry had more than one Stan Lee? What if the comics industry had 3 or 4 guys that were as dynamic and as fun as a Stan Lee? What if you had that? What if you could times that by a whole movement? What would you have? I just don't think people. I think this industry is very humble, and it's hard to, like, when you're somebody like me or different creative people in the industry, it's hard to think outside of your deadline, because it's such a time-consuming job. It takes everything you have as far as time just to make the comic book, that it's hard for people to think beyond that, because they're so busy just trying to take care of their day-to-day. But there are people, it's their job. It's their job. Every day they get paid for it. Those are the people that I think have let us down as an industry. Like, you never grew the business. You never grew the business, and then your only answer always was, oh, it's the talent on the book. It's the talent on the book. Oh, that's part of it. But when comics in the day, a long time ago, when I say in the day, even before my time, it didn't matter who drew the comic book. Comic books sold. Marvel likes to say it's the characters. It's the characters that sell. It's not the individual. Well, then why, if it's the characters, then why aren't your books selling then? If it's solely just about your characters, then how come you're not selling better than you are? Prove that. Start moving comic books. Start moving Spider-Man without talent. Get a Spider-Man comic book into everybody's hands in the world. Like, do something that merits your job title. I'm in sales. Well, what do you do? I put an ad in Diamond. I know if there's anybody that is into comic sales, there's a little bit more involved than that. But I've kind of run my own company. I've done publishing stuff in the past, and there is editorial stuff, and those editors do work their asses off. But as far as selling, it's pretty much the pipeline is come up with an ad, run it in Diamond, and then cross your fingers. They just sell to the retailer. That's all they do. That's all they're concerned with. They don't answer to the consumer, the customer, nothing. And you reap what you sow. And they didn't sow much, at least the last couple years. The industry isn't going to take care of itself, man. Get some kids in here, show them how cool comics are. Everything I do, all these books, you guys, black and white, chrono mechanics, adults can enjoy them, but kids can as well. Just make good action adventure comics. That's all anybody wants from us, really. I'm not saying that the whole industry has to be just that, but you can have more. But as a basic, they were always kind of a young person's entertainment. They were never meant for older people, and mainly I'm talking about superhero stuff. I'm reading the chat right now. Okay. What does it say? I read about him being gone, but haven't found anything from DC except a general statement with no details. No reasons listed yet, just that he is gone. So we're talking about Dan DiDio here. Anybody who's coming in right now, people in the chat have been talking and saying that Dan DiDio has been let go from DC Comics. And I'm not even mixed emotionally. I'm actually sad because Dan was always good to me. And I think Dan had some good ideas. I think when Dan first took over, DC was the best. They weren't rebooting everything. He was getting good people on the books. He realized he needed to get talent on the books, and he was paying good money to get that talent. And that's why I went to DC. That's why I got back into comics. So whiskey bacon. Oh, that sounds delicious. Hey, Art, are you shipping the black and white original cover artwork anytime soon? Whiskey, did you get the original cover art? Did you get that tier? Because I thought we sent it out. If you're talking about the giveaway, I'm not sure about that, because I think we actually, as a stretch goal, we gave away the Greg Capullo cover. I still can't believe we did that. So actually, let me know in a private message what you're talking about, because if you got that original artwork and if you bought it and haven't received it yet, let me know, or just give me the details in a DM, and we'll see if we can take care of that for you. Oh man, this sounds like a threat. You better be at WonderCon. Art, me, Pixel Trader, and Sierra Whiskey will be there for sure. We need to do a meetup after the show. Of course. So Jude says, hey, Art, I read all the way through. A comment when you start. LOL, hard to scroll up to find out about DiDio. Yeah, I think all anybody knows is that he may have been fired. So I don't think any reasons have been given yet. Stencil artist. Hey, chat. I've got to wait till the end of the month. Then I'm backing Chrono Mechanics. Hells yes. Well, thank you so much, man. It will be here for you. And I said earlier in the chat, Chrono is done, the pencils and inks. I just have a couple like tweaks and stuff over the weekend, and then it will be completely done. But pretty much it's done. I just need to do a couple hours here, a couple hours there. Albino says Pontificator show 6 p.m. or 6 Pacific, 8 Central, 9 Eastern. Yes, Pontificators tonight, and we will be going over in great detail the G5 and the DiDio being fired. Yes, Pamela, that's what they're saying in the chat.
Really?
Yeah, I knew some heads were going to roll, but I didn't know. So I'm not sure. No one has the details yet. I have not been impressed by Dan and Jim's leadership. Yes, include Jim in there. Like I said, I like both of those guys, but they were working together. I think Jim should draw Wildcats with Dixon writing. Yeah, I would like to see Jim draw a lot more. Okay, stencil artist. Yeah, it looks great. A real difference from black and white, which I really enjoyed, by the way. Cool, thank you.
Have you ordered the mail truck?
Super Sons was great. Man, we're going way back in the chat here. What time is this? I'm going back in time. 2:08. Yeah. Sorry, you guys. Venice. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Bendis did a lot of stuff, man. Coming also ruined Brett Booth's Titans, and that was my favorite book. Yeah, I don't think he has the resume to give him that much power. That's all. I'm not saying he's a bad writer. I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but don't give him that much power, man. Just don't do it. I don't think it's warranted. I don't know what the one drop rule is. Does that mean he believed in the one drop rule? Like I said, this is back early in the chat. I'm a big fan of dummy. I like that word. It always makes me crack up. A Kryptonian is Jewish, kids. What a dummy. Yeah, I don't know. You know, my truth, social justice, and the Soviet way coming soon again. Yeah. I don't like agenda-driven stuff, man. And if you're really trying to show your respect to the core group, then honor it, man. Make it celebrate what it is. Don't try to change it. I love people that go, "Oh, we're going to change it, and we're showing a tribute or we're paying homage to, the stuff that came before." By fundamentally changing the core of what it is, that's not a homage. That's contempt, man. That's like you don't think it's good enough. It isn't going to stand on its own 2 feet. Like that's what that is. I'm sure I'm going to be losing people because I'm sure everybody right now is going to start streaming about Dan DiDio. I wonder if WB is going to try and make a Jim Lee the next Stan Lee, the face of DC's ambassador. The thing is, I don't know why he wouldn't have already done that. I have a thought. It's a very cynical one, but I think okay, I'm gonna say it. I think that Dan was always going to be the sacrificial lamb. I always thought I had a conversation with Rob Liefeld about this, and we both agreed that Jim would walk away scot-free if the shit hit the fan, and that DiDio would be thrown under the bus, and that on some level, that's why they had the co-op credit. So then, Jim would just take over. I don't know how true what would be or is. And like I said, I don't ever want to seem like I'm really bagging on Jim Lee, because I'm not. I just kind of I'm just I'm just calling it as I see it, and I'm not trying to be controversial, and I'm not trying to be um, anything like that. I'm just trying to find out what the truth is, and then just try to, I don't know, get the word out. Because I don't want to see anybody getting fired. I don't want to see any of that happen. I just want to see good comic books. And like I said, when I went back to DC after my hiatus from comic books, Dan treated me very well, and I think Dan had the right idea at the time. It was to get good talent, and to pay that talent good money, to have them create at the company. And I've always been a big believer that, if you pay good money, you can get good talent, and good talent, if indeed, by the mainstream standards, that what sells a comic book is the talent, then if that indeed is the case, then why wouldn't you spend the money? Like I've already stated that, um, you know, Marvel's whole thing was like the characters. The characters are what sells. Well, I like that DiDio was like, well, the characters on some level do, but that mixed with like great talent can, you know, make a difference, can make these things exciting. I think it's a combination of the two. I don't believe that it's all necessarily one or the other. The older I get, the more I realize life isn't even that way. Like, the truth is always somewhere in between the two extremes. The truth is very, very rarely found in the extreme itself. It's in between. So, I'm gonna miss Dan. I think that he'll go on to do something important. And like I said, I know that he got a lot of flack, or gets a lot of flack, and I think that's because he cared, and that he was the public face for DC. He put it out there. He put himself on the line. I would see him do those panels at conventions, and man, you talk about a guy exposed. Like, he would just put it out there, talk with fans, try to figure stuff out. I think he had a good heart, and I think he really did want to do something. But I believe that these events, they kind of get short-term success. These big event crossover books, and I believe that they show some kind of growth. They generate numbers, so then these guys can justify, these guys as in DC can justify their existence to their parent company, Warner Brothers. And so they can say, look, this quarter we were up. And I don't know if Warner Brothers really knows how those things work, or any of that, but they can appease them and their stockholders for at least that quarter or that time. And that became the way of doing business, with the big crossovers, the big events. because they do get results, but they're always short term. And the problem with it is it's never a long term solution. It's always a short term solution, and eventually the stunt goes away, and then you're in the same situation you were before. But the problem is you also have a fan base that's losing faith in what you can do. So what happens is that if you do it enough, like it's like the boy who cried wolf kind of idea, that if you do it enough, then what happens is your audience starts losing faith in what you're doing, because they just see, oh, they're just going to reboot it anyways. Oh, everything that they're doing right now is going to have no importance, because in a year they're just going to say, oh, well, that's not what's going on anymore. It's this new thing, and then people go, well, that's what you said a year ago. Why do we keep doing this? And then it gets harder and harder to get behind these new ideas, because you feel like, well, I got excited last time and I didn't get much, or that they didn't stand behind the ideas. And so they just rebooted in a year after anyway. So what does it matter? And people really do care. They care deeply about this stuff. People love their chronomechanics and black and white books. They absolutely adore them. All right, you guys. This could be yours if you ordered one. So there's one finished, one down. I'm going to bring these other two together, and then I'm going to bow out, because I think I'm getting my butt kicked right now. I think everybody's probably checking into the DiDio thing. So if there is anybody alive still in the chat, please give a like, thumbs up, and get the word out. And also, we will be doing a pontificators tonight. So I hope to see all of you there, and we will go into great detail in this whole G5 DC thing. Yeah, I had a feeling that some heads were going to roll, but I was hoping it wasn't going to be Dan's. Because I did think, like, when they brought in that Diane Nielsen, I thought that, on one hand, it wasn't a bad idea, to bring in somebody that's a little bit more like Hollywood, and that maybe, the DC, comics company could be a little bit more hands-on with the development of, the film franchise. But that thing fell apart almost instantly. And I don't even understand if there even was like a comic book brain trust. Like, I don't even know why they moved from New York to Burbank. I thought that it was her dealing, like that she was the one that kind of brought that on. But I never understood it, other than, that maybe it was DC's way of trying to become more part of the film stuff. But that fell apart really, really quickly. And the reason it didn't make much sense to me is they ended up giving all the power to Zack Snyder anyway. So, where was the brain trust? Marvel, at least from what it seemed like, that the first phase they actually did have, a brain trust in there. I think there was like Bendis and Mark Miller and Tom Brevoort, Joe Quesada. They had some people there. As soon as Marvel realized they didn't need the street cred of having those guys involved anymore, they got rid of them pretty damn quick, and then took out the comic book pages flipping, or partially did, and then started bringing in, the film franchise stuff, and then eventually get rid of the comic book stuff altogether. It's pretty amazing how as soon as Hollywood decided they didn't need the comic book side of things anymore, how quickly they got rid of them. So, almost done with this one. So yeah, just once again, if you guys ordered a headshot on the black and white, one of the black and white tiers, these will be shipping soon. So you'll be getting yours pretty quickly. And this is the last of the black and white orders, is just the head sketches. And I believe there's only 7. So there's only really 7 people that haven't got their black and white yet. So a little more ink. So I don't know. I mean, how many out there? Let me see if there's even anybody in the chat. How many out there think it's a good thing having DiDio get fired? Put a 1 in the chat. Let's do a poll. See how many Dan DiDio fans there are. I might be the only one. That'd be sad. Let's make this interactive. Okay, one more eyebrow. Okay. And then borders. I don't see any numbers. Oh, wait. I might have to edumacate some people. Let me see what we have here. Fire for what? Oh, Mary Needlepoint. You are in for a sad. Well, I think it's sad. People in the chat have been saying that Dan DiDio, the president and head of DC Comics, has just been let go or fired. So I've been talking for the last hour or so about, it's sad for me because I liked Dan, but I just kind of wanted to see in the chat how many people think that it's good that Dan is leaving. So I asked everybody to put a 1 in the chat to see what they think. But don't let me try to, change your way of thinking, because if you thought that Dan's leadership was not that great, I mean, that's your opinion. You're entitled to it. Right, Pamela?
Oh, sure. Dan was always extremely nice to you.
Yeah, I never had a problem with them. So you have 2 now to send out. In about 10 minutes, or 5 minutes, you'll have another one, Pamela.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Woohoo! That's my wife, Pamela. Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
They're like, who's he talking to?
Who's woohooing back there?
Who is that person? She sounds hot.
A hoot hoot and a rah rah.
She sounds hot. Yeah, Pamela, if you don't know, is my wife and my co-partner on most of these creator ventures. And so she's also the one that's shipping all this stuff your way.
We're down to 7 and then we're done.
Yeah.
Do people keep an eye on if you haven't received your books out of the 1,200 that I put out since December, 4 have come back. And I've contacted through the Indiegogo contact page there, emailed saying, hey, is this your real address? Let me know. And no one has answered. I have a fear that this stuff might be going to spam. But
so check your spam, you guys.
Right. So please, if you haven't received your book, just get in touch with us so I can check to see if you are one of these 4 that have come back. Thank you.
Yeah, because we only have 7 more of the new book, like the initial orders, but yeah, some of them have been shipped back. So apparently there's an address issue.
Address issues, yeah. So other than that, though, yeah, can you believe it? 1,200 books gone.
And Chrono is, for the most part, done.
Yeah. So
the artwork is done.
Again, hoot hoot.
It's a good day at Hack Shack.
I like to hoot.
Every day is a good day at Hack Shack, but today is an exceptional day. How many ones do we have, Pamela?
I only see 1 up here, and then it's got a maybe after it.
1 maybe. So let's see. We don't have a lot of strong thoughts about it then, I guess. Let me get my glasses on.
Mary Needlepoint does say he didn't protect IPs like Superman and Batman very well.
Yeah, I think they gave a little bit too much to Michael Bendis. A little too much power towards the end there. So we have Albino with a 1. So we have 1-1.
And 1 maybe.
Let's see what Central Scrutinizer says. Oh, definitely. I used to want to be a comic book artist. I've read a lot of horror stories. Yeah. It's not an easy profession. I don't know anything about DiDio really, so I'll give it an 8. A 0.8 instead.
That's cute.
Okay. Is this the one you read?
No.
Did Art address my question about the original art cover? Oh, yes, I did talk about it a little bit, but maybe Pamela can get into it. I asked Whiskey Bacon to just DM me with it, but he was asking about the original art cover. Has that gone out yet? For, I guess it's black and white, right?
Well, he would need to DM because I don't know the number, his contributor number and name.
Yeah, it makes it easier to track down. I don't remember a
Whiskey Bacon.
Yeah, it makes it easier to track down.
The Whiskey and Bacon does, well, that does sound pretty good there.
Has the cover went out though? Do you remember issue 1's cover going out?
To black and white?
Yeah.
No, it is still downstairs. So if this is the person I'm thinking it is, just DM me so that I do, or Art, so that I know that I am talking to the correct person.
So the main thing is, if he had a head sketch that went with it, that's why you haven't got the order yet.
Exactly.
Because we're waiting for this drawing that I'm working on right now to get done so I can send it to you.
Remark. because if it is the person I'm thinking of, this person also gets the remark.
Did we get that printed up for the remark yet?
No, I have to take that in. That's going to be my job Monday.
Yeah, as soon as that's done too. That's probably it.
I think it is. But like I said, I don't want to say anything if I am thinking the wrong
So
thing.
I'm sorry, Whiskey Bacon. I misspoke when I said all the orders. So there is that. But I think I think you have a head sketch coming as well.
Yes.
So that really is the main reason you haven't gotten it yet. But I still do have to do your remark.
It's looking good, huh?
Well, thank you.
All right, I'm going to scoot out of here.
You're going to scoot your booch?
I'm just scooting out. I come in, look around, then leave.
That's what you do.
It's what I do.
And what you do
is what defines me.
Is what defines you. Okay.
Just see if, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but I'm glad he mentioned it because
Oh, definitely.
I did misspeak. It's kind of like it is true, but there is still that cover tier.
Do you know what DiDio was fired for? Mary Needlepoint was asked.
No, nobody's been able to get any details yet.
Oh.
We're going to talk about it tonight on the Pontificators, so I'm hoping that we get a little bit more detail by then.
Oh.
Yeah.
Boy, I hate to hear of anyone losing a job.
Yeah, and he was just a big, gregarious, outgoing guy. And I think, like I said, when he first took over, I really liked his direction. I like what he was doing, because he was really about spending money and getting good talent on the books. Too much ink here.
And then things happen.
Yeah, and then it just turned into event every couple years city.
Yeah.
Let's have another big crossover, another big crossover, another big crossover. And then people are just like, I'm done with the big crossovers.
Yawn.
I want a good book. I want a good book like Chrono Mechanics.
That is a good book.
I'm gonna go over there. Let's see what that's all about. All right. Well, I got 3 of them done, and I'll do more, but
so those will be going out Monday.
Yeah, I've bored you long enough. So here is what I've been working on. Look at how cute she is. She is adorable.
As cute as a little speckled pup.
But you know what? Don't let that fool you, because the things she does are not very nice at times. Yeah, so we got that. Let me, I'll just put this here, try to frame it up. And see what else we got in the chat. We have Arnold saying maybe 1. So, Mary says bye.
Tell her bye.
And then Whiskey says he will DM us.
Okay.
Mighty Joe Young. Since AT&T does WB even count anymore? I don't know, man. There's been a lot of speculation. All of it not really good, which is sad. It bums me out, man, because I don't want to see any of this stuff happen. I don't want to see anybody lose their job. I don't want to see comic books not selling. I don't want any of that stuff to happen. But, I don't know. Like I said, if you just tuned in, you go back and listen to this again or the earlier stuff. I talk a lot about just reaping what you sow. And I think there's been a lot of just status quo type of stuff happening, and just let it ride for a long, long time in this industry. And there hasn't been a lot of people taking chances, putting money into advertising, getting these books into the mass market. The mass market, not the comic book shops, but the mass market. I have nothing against comic book shops. I think they're great, but we need not only comic book shops, but we need mass market as well. What I would like to see is the mass market just take care of the month-to-month stuff, and then for comic shops to sell like high-end collectibles, like, rare, hard to get copies, books that you might have missed on the newsstand, stuff like that, and become more of a specialty shop and take care of the needs that way. I think that would be good. What is this? Well, read it.
Oh, I just Googled about Dan DiDio, and it does say everything that I have seen here says 2 hours ago. Whether he quit, fired, or pushed out, we don't know. We may never know. But Bleeding Cool can confirm, that he's no longer there.
Oh, man. Sad
He
news.
says, Bleeding Cool says, whatever happened fast.
Wow. There must have been a press, like what do they call that? A boardroom meeting, and he must have just said the wrong thing.
Yeah, I don't know. This is Newsarama. Dan DiDio exits DC. Longtime DC co-publisher is no longer with the company. First reported by Comic Book, in their original story, they said DiDio was removed from his position, but later removed that portion of the article.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm going to rename the stream because the Dan DiDio news ended up changing things over, even though I got a lot of drawing done. So Charlie's London, hey Art, watching you draw mesmerizes me. Your art is incredible. Love from London. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. So, Pamela, while you're here, are you ready?
For what?
I'm gonna share something.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like sharing.
I always like to, like, at the end, like share with people. Yeah, I thought this came out good. This is one of the last panels I drew. So I love these guys. Look at how silly they look. And of course, Caravaggio, the bald-headed guy in the front, is taking credit for all the success. He's like, yeah, it was all of me.
Yeah.
I did it all. Yeah. So, I also wanted to, God, you should have heard me last night. Pamela will tell you. All this background, you guys, I drew in digitally. So I drew this all in the computer, and I was very proud of myself. So how many times did I tell you to come in here and look at it?
Oh my goodness, don't even ask. It's like, yes, hon, I see. You drew another 1/4 inch of cloud. I'm so proud.
But I did it with the mouse, you guys. I'm not even using a Wacom tablet. This was all drawn with a mouse. Anybody who's tried to do anything with a computer knows, like, this is insane. So even all this like little hat, like this shadow stuff right down in here, I did with the mouse. So yeah, so I just thought I would show you guys a little bit of fun, of Chrono Fun. So these are the guys. I think that, man, those cliff sides and everything, there's a bit of whimsy there.
Yeah.
There's a bit
I like it.
A fun whimsy. And my big push today has been these bad boys. So I want to let you guys know we have some killer variant covers in the Chrono Mechanics campaign. And this killer cover was drawn by Carlo Barberi and inked by moi and colored by Perea. Colored up nicely by Perea. He did a great job. That dude's talented.
Yes, he is.
He's a wee bit talented. And so then we have the great Tom Bancroft, who is a ex-Disney animator. His big claim to fame was Mushu. So he was the head animator and designer of that character. The dragon, what was his thing? I am the
great and powerful Mushu?
No, I'm the whatever. I'm the whatever.
I don't remember.
Remember Amanda used to say it?
Yeah, she had a bank that said it. You put in the little coin and he would talk.
And he would move, right?
Yeah. I loved Mushu. I ain't biting any more butts.
I ain't biting any more butts. Yeah. Dishonor on you, dishonor on you, dishonor on all your ancestors.
On your family, on the cow.
On the ancestors. Yeah. Eddie Murphy's awesome. So yeah, Tom used to talk about working with Eddie Murphy. Pretty cool stuff. And he did a pinup of Doug. So this is pretty badass. Doug is being called to duty. That's why part of his legs are phasing out. And the girls are like, what? So I think this is awesome. Like this side of the girls are like, yeah. And on this one, they're like, oh no, what's going on? He's disappearing.
And Doug has many, many fans that are women, or they will be once they're old enough to vote.
Yeah, once they become women.
Yeah.
They're just little girls now. And the thing is, you'll never see a Disney animator draw a cigarette in a character's mouth ever, ever, ever. And so this is probably the only time Doug has ever drawn a cigarette in a character's mouth.
But I love how he picked up even on the fashion. Look at the girl in the running shorts.
Yeah.
I mean, those are just...
What are those, like dolphin shorts from the 70s or whatever?
Yeah.
Little T-tops, or what were these called? The tube tops, right?
Yeah.
And then the one little girl's got the D on her shirt because Doug's nickname is the D. So then we have the great Sean Cheeks Galloway that put this together for me. I like the cogs. They look like fishes flying out of the time stream here.
Uh-huh.
And this is Oot surfing the time stream, which I think is cool with the various timeline Earths in the background. Yeah. This thing is genius.
Well, when he created Hellboy, I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah, when he did all the designs for the Hellboy animated. Yeah, dude's talented. I'm so thankful. I got such good friends. And then this is the newest cover to join the ranks. And this is by the great Aaron Lopresti, who I believe is working on Justice League for DC Comics. He just lost his boss today. So he was kind enough to do Zin. So this is Zin in awe of his own gem.
And who did he say he was paying homage to?
Bernie Wrightson. So it says underneath his name, it says after Wrightson. So this is a House of Secrets, I think, cover. Or House of Mystery. I can't remember now, but it was a Bernie Wrightson cover. And so I remember he did the whole cover for us, and then he's like, wait, you got to send it back to me. Or no, he said before you get it colored up, I need to do one more thing. So I thought he was like going to tweak the artwork or whatever. And then he put the after Wrightson on there. So I thought that was very cool. So yeah, we have these 4 covers, you guys. They're in the variant cover collection, the Superstar collection. So go check that out. I believe in the description, there's a link, and I'll put a link for the Chrono Mechanics campaign in once I get back to the stream. So yes, so we have Caravaggio done by Carlo. We have Doug by Tom. We have Oot by Sean Cheeks. Or just Cheeks?
Cheeks.
He's cheeky. He's a cheeky bastard. And so then we have Zin by Aaron Lopresti. So very good, you guys. Please go check this out. We are close to going to print. So we have some more color pages we need to get back. We have some lettering we need to get back. And then once that's done, this book is going to the printers because, like I said, after this weekend, the book will be, the line artwork, the pencils and inks will be completely done. So it's a big, big milestone for us. We're trying to get these things done a lot faster and get them in your hands quicker. So we're learning from the past and just trying to be more accountable to you guys, because we do appreciate the fans, and we know the only reason we're here is because of you guys supporting these projects. So thank you. I'm going to go back in time. So yes, I'm back. Dolphin shorts. You know what? That is one fashion that I can honestly say I never partook in. I never had a pair of dolphin shorts, so I don't have any stupid, really horrible photos of myself with dolphin shorts. So there you go. Dishonor
on your cabbages.
On your cabbages. What is a mouse? Oh, yeah. I drew it with a mouse. Yeah, I am crazy, homie.
I like what Charlie's London said.
Okay, what did she say? Drawing with a mouse is hard, but I wouldn't recommend trying a cat. You getting a cat to do anything is out of the question.
Hey, that's not true. Our cat sits, he begs, he speaks.
He doesn't do it when he wants to. He does it when he wants to get a snack. He doesn't just do it. Like, if you asked him to do it, he wouldn't do it.
Yes, he would.
No, he wouldn't.
He does as soon as he sees the snack come out.
Right, but he knows that there's a snack involved.
Dog is the same way.
I don't know. Flora was pretty awesome. We didn't have to bribe her to that extent.
But how many
Flora was our dog.
Do you know that speak? I mean, you say, Momo, speak, and he meows.
Oh, we're losing people right now. Everybody's like, oh, crazy cat lady.
Okay, I am.
They're jumping off the ship like rats. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging. Had a blast. And we are doing a Pontificators tonight at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So hope to see you there. And we will be talking in greater detail about DiDio and this G5 initiative by DC Comics. So you guys take care. Thanks. Oh, wait. I was gonna put the link. I didn't put the link. I gotta keep my word. Wait a minute. That's not it. Here we go. It's also in the description. So there is the chrono link there. And like I said, it's in the description as well. So thank you guys. Have a great day. See you in a couple hours for Pontificators. Take care.